again. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about the potential of, or I guess the Zach LaVine saga, ladies and gentlemen, and the potential of him joining another team. Another team has been listed as interested in eyeing Zach LaVine in free agency, and I just want to talk about the likelihood of it happening, as well as, I guess, the danger of this happening as well. It's a team that I'm personally worried about that could take Zach LaVine away from the Chicago Bulls. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the potential of Zach LaVine leaving the Chicago Bulls for this team, and overall, what is the impact that it could be for the Bulls and for obviously the team that we'll be talking about today. And that team is the Portland Trailblazers, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've talked about Portland and Zach LaVine before. I've mentioned them in a video already about Zach LaVine and the likely destinations, how likely and unlikely it is. If you've watched that video, Portland is one of those teams that I'm really scared about, and I truly feel like could potentially be a good destination for Zach LaVine. Now, at the end of the day, I don't personally know, I guess, Zach LaVine's side of this. I don't know what Zach LaVine wants to do and all of that, but I do know Portland's side. And obviously the rumors is that Portland is eyeing both Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal in terms of being that partner with Damian Lillard, a very interesting player in Damian Lillard, one of my favorites in the NBA, and a very interesting team in the Portland Trailblazers. So we need to talk about how this can happen, because can it happen? Absolutely. And there are multiple ways this can happen as well. Portland are the only team right now that I believe can offer Zach LaVine their version of a max contract. Now, their version is not as good as ours. We have an extra year. We have ultimately, I think, $50 million left on the table that he can accept as well. With Portland, it's 4 years, and he'll be losing a couple million as well. I think around $50 million, which is a lot of money for Zach LaVine. But at the end of the day, I guess a new opportunity, a new adventure, a new destination could very well be worth that to Zach LaVine. So just them offering a max contract alone could be enough to send Zach LaVine off to Portland, and we get nothing in return, which is very upsetting. And as I said before, I'm very worried about that happening, because obviously they have the money to do it. And if Zach LaVine is really considering leaving the Chicago Bulls, we don't know Zach LaVine's side, there's a good chance Portland can just send him off and give him what he wants, maybe he deserves, and Zach LaVine could leave. And that's something that we have to be very careful of. And that's why I'm very scared of Portland. In terms of Dallas, again, comparing the two teams, Dallas has to do a sign and trade, multiple trades in my opinion as well, to bring Zach LaVine to the Portland Trailblazers. Portland don't have to do a single thing except for offer the money that he wants. They could keep all the players that they have. They could do a lot of things in that retrospect, and it could still work out for Zach LaVine and giving him the money that he wants. Ultimately, another version is the sign and trade. Again, if Zach LaVine wants his 5 years and wants all of his money, a sign and trade will have to be done no matter which team it's in relation to. Obviously, a sign and trade helps the Chicago Bulls. We will get assets in return. Good assets in return as well, because I think Portland do have players that the Chicago Bulls would need on their team, especially in terms of the bench, trying to modify this bench and improve this bench. I think Portland can help in that retrospect. And ultimately, again, if you bring someone like Simons into the table, a potential starting option for the Chicago Bulls for the future as well, then maybe can develop into their own version of a Zach LaVine, or whatever version or whatever, I guess, best form he can be. If we could get that development out of him, that could be very interesting as well. But ultimately, I feel like the best situation for the Chicago Bulls is just to keep Zach LaVine. So I do feel like it's a lose-lose situation, whether Portland just signs him straight up or we do a sign and trade. I think we lose in both of those regards. We might not lose as badly with the sign and trades, but we still lose in my opinion. I think Zach LaVine is a lot more valuable than what they can offer us. And I think most of the sign and trades that we're linked to in relation to Zach LaVine, we lose those sign and trades. And a lot of the ones that we win are extremely unrealistic. I think that's just how free agency goes, and we're going to have to left to be surprised whatever the outcome will be. So can it happen? Yes. Will Portland do this? Ultimately, if they're interested, my answer would be yes. And I feel like they have more of a reasoning behind what Dallas had. In Dallas, they have the choice to re-sign Jalen Brunson, but that partnership works. Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson for the Dallas Mavericks works. If they didn't work, they wouldn't be going to the Western Conference Finals. They may have lost in the Western Conference Finals, but they would have never been there if that partnership didn't work. And I feel like Dallas has different positions that they need to fill before they go and target a Zach LaVine type of player. Portland have Damian Lillard. They have a use of Nurkic on their team, who I think is a very good center, despite being relatively injury prone. At the end of the day, they have a big, they have obviously a superstar point guard as well. and they're looking for someone to pair with Damian Lillard. And that's where I think Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine comes into play. But the biggest question mark is here, what does Bradley Beal want to do? Because we don't know what Zach LaVine wants to do. We don't know what Bradley Beal wants to do. The difference between Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal has a player option. So he basically chooses his future as well. He could choose to stay with the Washington Wizards for one more year, get paid that max money that he got from the Washington Wizards, then decide his future in a year's time if he feels like the suitors there are not what he wants, or if he's just loyal to the Washington Wizards to a fault. With Zach LaVine, he's unrestricted. His choice. We have to take the brunt of whatever he decides to choose. If that's signing with the Chicago Bulls, the brunt is obviously that 5-year max contract. If that's with Portland or any other team, a sign and trade has to be done. And we do not have the power in any of those circumstances. Simple as that. We don't have the power here. So, I think that's the biggest difference out of that. But if Bradley Beal wants to leave, then I would hope Portland would pursue Bradley Beal over Zach LaVine. I would hope that's the case, but obviously we don't personally know that. And also, that does beg the question, if the Chicago Bulls lose Zach LaVine, can we go after Bradley Beal ourselves? If he's not committed to the Washington Wizards, which I personally think he is, if he's not committed to the Washington Wizards, can we go after a Bradley Beal? Because I think not the best case scenario, but definitely far from the worst. If we lose Zach LaVine to Portland and we bring in a Bradley Beal, at the end of the day, I don't think many people are going to be saying, oh my goodness, we lost this free agency window, have we? I think Bradley Beal's a fantastic player as well, and it could definitely work for the Chicago Bulls. So, again, I would still like to keep Zach LaVine. I want Zach LaVine on the Bulls. I'm not going to say it in any other way. I want Zach LaVine to be here. But Portland is a worrying team. And it's something we can't rule out of the question for multiple ways. They can bring Zach LaVine to the Chicago Bulls team. So with all that being said, I sincerely hope that the Bulls decide to keep Zach LaVine, offer him the money that he wants, and we go from there. We have that fight. We have that security in trading him in the future if it doesn't work. And we also have, I guess, the security of getting better assets in return as well. But again, if it does work, we've got a hell of a player here in Zach LaVine as well. So I think that's a win situation for the Chicago Bulls, and I think every other situation could potentially be a lose situation. So hopefully Portland stay away. But at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge their presence. We have to acknowledge that it's a very good destination for Zach LaVine. I think Zach and Dame work very well together. I think they go back to competing in the Western Conference. And I think Zach LaVine suits the Western Conference as well, just as much as the East. So I don't feel like it's a bad possibility for Zach. I think Zach would be intrigued to go to Portland. But at the same time, I hope we have enough here that can lure him back to the Chicago Bulls. But we'll just have to wait and see in time. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.